Oh, it's been so long since I made a video like this. Oh boy. Before I actually get into this, like, meat and potatoes of this video, um, I don't think I ever shared too much of the philosophy of, one, what I was trying to do with my older videos, although I don't believe I did them correctly, and, with what I was trying to get at, in the sense of what I was trying to do. I'm a little bit more self-aware. I probably will have room for mistakes. But I believe the best content are ones that provide a, not provide, what's the word I'm looking for? Endorse a discussion. I want people to be talking. I want people to be having discussions and having them respectfully. I want people to listen to other people. I don't want people to be stuck in an echo chamber, because that doesn't do anything. I really want people to have the ability to have constructive and conversations, even with people they may not even like. I feel like there's so much, I guess, black and white thinking when it comes to certain things, where if you're giving someone or something a certain time of day, it's immediately you are endorsing of that particular thing. And that's not necessarily true. And I feel like it's a very redundant way of looking at things, and I honestly, it also just shows very much lack of things like media literacy. And so yeah, I feel like that never really came off in my older videos, because I'll be honest, maybe I was also in an echo chamber and I didn't want to admit it, but not as much, definitely not as much anymore. But I recently seen Novali's video on the doghouse thing, right? And initially I wasn't gonna make a video about it, because I was like, I don't know, I don't really have anything else to add to it other than, like, yeah, this shit's stupid, but whatever. And then I seen Simple Nick's video on the situation, and which, they're back. Holy shit. Sorry, I just was not expecting it, and it was a very nice surprise to see them come back, because I loved their videos. And immediately I was flooded with a bunch of ideas and thoughts that I've been having over the past few months, especially since, like, the start of this year. There was a certain drama that came up that genuinely infuriated me, but I felt like I couldn't talk about it, mainly because this, I guess, how do I say this without sounding what's the word, I guess, hypocritical or counterintuitive with what I was saying earlier. There's, I guess, a certain group that has become a lot more vocal, and maybe I'm just being a bit I don't want to maybe I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but very scary. They're very volatile and very, I mean, aggressive, and I genuinely I really don't like some of the stuff recently that's been going on in the furry fandom, and that drama was definitely one of the things that that really upset me. This video is probably going to be a little bit scatterbrained, but also I have a little text document up so I can talk about things and have them bit more correlated because I am known for being a bit of a yapper and going on tangents. So yeah, so I will get back to the doghouse drama, but considering I am already talking about what I want to get into, we'll go there first. And it also is the first in the document anyway. So in around January of this year, PB or PB&J made a TikTok accusing Beta Eta Delota of being a pedophile / groomer because they are baby fur, or being part of ABDL, which is Adult Baby Diaper Lover. I've talked about ABDL a little bit in the past. I talked about it in my Hot Takes Furry Fandom video. That is very old. And then I talked about it again in the Furry Wheel of Drama. And in my consensus is that I don't have a problem with baby furs. I don't have a problem with ABDL. I mentioned them briefly in my AmbiCon video too. In my thoughts video on AmbiCon, and I don't have a problem with baby furs. And just saying that can be controversial. And the reason being is that there's a lot of people who find that very uncomfortable. And the thing is, baby furs have always been, I guess, they've always been slightly controversial, but generally, like, it was normally like, okay, if you don't like them, you sit and you block and you move on, right? Now it's, as I said, it's almost controversial to say anything positive about baby furs, because immediately then you're hit with, so you support pedophilia, so you support this, so you do that, so you don't like waffles. That's kind of where I'm getting with ABDL. And the thing is, I genuinely really hate this consensus, because there's a lot of hypocriticalness in the sense that that a lot of these people would be into pet play, which is basically ABDL with a different font. So if you were to go, okay, so if you pretend to be a dog during naughty time, naughty hours, that means you're a zoophile. And they would lose their shit, right? But if you say that about ABDL, they're like, yeah, that's correct. And that's like, oh, like, what? Another thing is that they claim that it sexualizes children when there's no children being involved. They literally don't know what the fuck they're talking about in that kind of sense. Because there isn't no children at all being sexualized. If we're going to talk about children being sexualized, it's going to be things like cuties, or, again, Grok deepfakes, like Grok AI stuff, like what was happening to the actress of Holly from Stranger Things 5. That's sexualizing children, or, beauty pageants, with ABDL. What children are being sexualized? No child is being sexualized. They legit have no idea what they're talking about. Hello, Editing Lurkin here. There's a small little tidbit that I completely forgot to add in when I was recording this video, and I feel like it's really important. So here it is. I think another thing also is that there is a complete lack of understanding of kink, and people who really just do not understand kink about certain things, because they immediately jump to pedophilia and stuff like that, when in reality a lot of things like diapers and stuff really just come down to things like humiliation and water sports and lead-offs of those other kinks. And so, of course, when you put your critical thinking skills together, it really comes down to the fact that, no, it's not pedophilia. And then, of course, those other things, like the fact that a lot of things like people who are into kink, a lot of them are neurodiverse. And so it also comes down to things like sensation. And that's why a lot of people are into the things like mud and
other types of things like latex and stuff like that. That is a big thing, and diapers are also another thing. A lot of people like the sensation of it, and like the feeling of it, and that, again, is that pedophilic? Absolutely not. There's also studies about ABDL, and when you really look at those studies, it really comes down to, like, there are so many reasons why people are into it, and there's so many reasons why people gravitate towards it. And then, of course, the whole new thing of these, like, new age of furries recently that I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm not the biggest fan of, mainly because they are misconstruing everything and are really just spreading lies. Baby fur and ABDL have always been encompassing of safe for work and not safe for work. There is always like people always kind of ask, oh, were you like just an age regressor, or that sort of thing. And it's the same with pup play. Pup play has the exact same kind of elements. There's people who are into pup space and just to get away from everyday stress and stuff like that, and then there's people who are into the not safe for work aspects. And as I said, pup play and ABDL are like helplessly intertwined with each other, and also are basically the same thing, different font. Despite what others will have you believe. But pup play doesn't nearly get as much bad reputation as ABDL, which is very funny, because if you were to say, oh yeah, pup play is zoophilic, open arms, but people are so quick to say that ABDL is pedophilic, but whatever. I just wanted to give a little offshoot of that. Also, I will link, if I can, because YouTube is weird with me with links, about those studies about ABDL. So, yes, yeah, I'm just I needed to just clarify that, because this is a really important point that I needed to get across. Also, I just woke up, so yeah.
And that's something that just personally rubs me the wrong way, mainly because I don't like the way that people are immediately accusations on the fly because something makes them uncomfortable. And you can be uncomfortable with any fucking kink, right? There's kinks that I'm uncomfortable with, right? And have been uncomfortable with. But just because something makes me uncomfortable and I'm getting a lot of, preconceptions about someone's character, when I don't know this person, that would say a lot more about me than what it would about that other person. Because unless I have evidence that says otherwise, these are all made up narratives in my own head with how I feel about a certain thing. And you can't put that onto somebody, especially when you have no evidence, because you know what that is? Libel and slander. And that is a crime. Not to mention, you're also, again, creating false accusations, and that can destroy someone's livelihood, that can destroy somebody's mental health. And what I'm most terrified of is, how far is this willing to go, and how much are we willing to allow this sort of behavior to go on? And my biggest fear is someone, I really hope not, I really hope this doesn't happen, but I'm scared someone will end up hurting themselves or taking their own life from this harassment, and because of this endorsement of harassment, simply because we don't like that somebody is doing something that we see as gross or just uncomfortable. Unless we have evidence of them grooming an actual child or sexualizing a child, we cannot make any assumptions about somebody's character. But we are so comfortable doing that nowadays and making up these narratives about people. Even in the Simple Nicks video, because I just watched it before I started recording, it was people just immediately accusing others of being racist because they have loads of money, or because, you know, there was like these gym furs who had taken this photo, and people were saying, oh look, they would not any POC at all in this photo, despite the person who uploaded it being Korean. So it's just like, if you mean black people, just say black people. And people are so comfortable with making up narratives, and it's not, I don't want to say it's just the furry fandom, but it is very prevalent in the furry fandom, and it is something that is just it saddens me, because it's very irresponsible, and it's kind of gotten to the point where we, instead of, I guess, owning up to mistakes, we are so quick to, I don't want to say we, I feel like it's a bit, I guess, redundant to certain people. I feel like there is this consensus that if someone is met with false allegations, it is, oh well, that's one and done, let's move on to something else that we can be, you know, outraged at, you know, and whether or not that be worthy of outrage, I guess, is down to the person. But there's damage left behind, especially with what happened with Beta and PB. Lots of stuff was, there was a lot of damage that happened there. So I know that Beta's, that stuff was exposed to their family and co-workers, and that's just not something that they need to know. They've also been, I'm remembering wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I also believe that they were doxxed. And that's just horrible. But there is this, it's a very big, it's been a lot more prevalent since TikTok has become a lot more, I guess, relevant in our communities. There's always this, like, thing of, like, oh, you know, Instagram furs and Twitter furries or whatever, Tumblr furries, and, like, and having certain archetypes because of certain furries on those platforms. And in a way, there is probably an argument to be had about whether or not this is entirely, I guess, fabricated, or I guess a narrative. But I will say that maybe algorithms do push certain furries with these certain ideals, or maybe it's because there's more normies and on these certain platforms, like the term normies, but you know, it is an argument to be had that they kind of push these, I guess, anti-ABDL, anti-baby fur sort of content, and it's especially those who want to paint the furry fandom, or like, oh, or reward furries for being, I guess, more normal and less weird. And it's definitely an argument to be had. And if you want my opinion, I'm not a big fan of it. The furry fandom is, I've been in the furry fandom since 2017. Nearly 10 years. Whoa. And like a lot of people who joined the furry fandom, I was someone who was considered weird, and you know, I am. Woo. What, a furry being weird? Whoa. You know, at the time I was just discovering I was LGBT, and then of course I grew up and, you know, many other things, you know, found out I was transgender, and just overall, and then also being neurodiverse, you know, and that's kind of what the furry community is built on. Neurodiverse LGBT people. And now there's this, I guess, this new strain, it sounds like some sort of disease, but I guess there's this new crowd of more mainstream people coming into the fandom. And now they're coming in and they are being very thought policey and micromanaging our spaces and our communities and saying what we can't and can't have, and with that throwing around false allegations. And it's quite dangerous, especially in the political climate of today, where there is, again, with Trump and again more anti-LGBT stuff on the rise. You know, drag queens being demonized, and trans people being accused of groomers and all those sorts of things, that we are really digging deep into and almost tearing apart our communities when we are really should be coming together and should be really looking out for each other more than ever. You know, we should be doing this way more than ever with what's going on nowadays. And it is something that I don't think we're talking about enough. And I feel like at times, like I was terrified to talk about it. I was really scared of talking about it. But I'll be honest, I'm kind of just, what's the word? There's a phrase. It's like, be the change you want to be in the world, right? And then there's also, with talking to other furs in my own community, it's sometimes people need an example first before things get better. And sometimes you gotta be that example. And I remember having this conversation with like a bunch of different furries and in the community. Not gonna name names, of course, because I don't want to be that person. But hence why this video is even being created in the first place. And with this, I guess, new wave of furries again, it could really mean how it could, I guess, have a play with how the doghouse thing has come about. And which, if you don't know, it's an event that was meant to be held around the same time as Megaplex, and it's basically like 19 content creators getting into a house to make content together. And the nature of these content houses, they're usually, instead of like things like Team 10 and I guess other content houses where they're all living each other, this is being rented out for a weekend, and which is kind of an endorsement of a fake group of friends together to make content together and basically kind of be a content farm for a weekend. And basically a lot of furries were like, yeah, this isn't good because of not really what we stand for. You know, we support artists and we support more human experiences, and because of something that's so, I guess, manufactured and fake, and also not to mention AI involvement, which we are very against AI, and it's kind of bringing in this mainstream culture of influencers, which we also don't like very much, especially with a lot of mainstream influencers who come into the furry fandom to basically make a spectacle of us, to make fun of us, or to get money out of us. It just doesn't go down well, you know. And I would kind of laugh at that idea a few years ago, but it's just become so much more, it's become just so much bigger over the past few years. And another thing that even made this, I guess, kind of was like the nail in the coffin, was the form for the doghouse was asking for your follower count. So it was very much asking, you know, how popular, how big are you, how are you on that grind, you know, how much clout, how many followers do you have? And quite honestly, despite what like Twitter or what, I guess, despite what Twitter and other places would have you believe, a lot of, again, like actual like furry spaces like outside of the internet don't give a fuck. Like furry cons, furmeets, they don't give a shit, you know, as long as you're nice. People don't give a fuck. Like, genuinely, people don't give a fuck. And if people do give a fuck, it's probably people you don't want to hang around with anyways. And then, of course, like, there's also the other stuff that we can really go into more of. Like, if we're going to talk about, like, mainstreamification, you have, like, people like Baby No Money coming into the fandom and, like, being with, like, Barley the Burr, who, by the way, it's no hate to Barley or whatever, who were coming in, and of course the whole like Lil Nas X thing that happened a few years ago, and then even things like Boof and the Burr, which I mean we all dislike now, but Boof was a very popular influencer before he joined the furry fandom, and then he got so much notoriety, and it was kind of like, I guess, was known as the mainstream furry for quite a while until his empire came down. And then of course you have Spiral Fursuiter, who you know, was doing that whole influencer package deal thing, and then when they were on that interview thing, they were like, oh, I don't like being known as a furry, you know, I just happen to have a fursuit. It's this very rejection of the furry community for being too weird, for being this, for being that, but also wanting to take advantage of the community. And it's kind of like you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I don't necessarily know what can be done about it, because it's kind of like, you know, from years ago where people were like, we need to stop zoophiles and pedophiles and you know, from coming into the community, but in reality there's really not much we can do. There's no, I guess, guardrail or like secret password, you know, to, you know, block them from coming into the community. Basically anyone can come in and identify as a furry. But it is conversations that we should be having, and stuff that we should be talking about, and stuff that we should be discussing with one another, instead of, I guess, flaming the fuck out of each other and basically almost, I guess, demonizing each other for simply wanting to have a conversation. And just because we get uncomfortable, it's not an immediate reason for us to start attacking each other. It's not an immediate reaction for us to start demonizing one another and assuming the worst of the worst because of a preconceived narrative. Because not all of our preconceptions or narratives are correct. That is a big quote I used to say all the time, but it's so true. And I think that's the most important thing. We should be having conversations. We should be talking. And I feel like the more we have that, the more, I guess, humanness we'll have and more human connections we'll have in the furry fandom. And that's just to have conversations and to not immediately dismiss each other and to immediately assume the worst of the worst, or immediately attacking each other, or, you know. And even then, also, we should be allowing room for growth. I understand that there's people who've done heinous things, but there's also things that, you know, maybe someone's had a bad take, right? You know, maybe they had like one bad take, or, you know, or I don't know, I feel like my community is smart enough to know what I'm on about, but we need to start providing more rooms for growth and repair. Because, believe it or not, some things do have, I guess controversies have expiry dates. Some do, some don't. And immediately, I feel like there's certain things that happen and, with an audience, and then people immediately think that they're a part of that. And it's like, no, if it's something that is completely between two people, and they sort it out, we have no say in if they should apologize or whatever, because we are not obligated to know anything, because it's between two people, and it should be kept there. But unfortunately, some people like to air their dirty laundry out to the public, and it's not healthy. It complicates so many things, and just for all parties involved, it's not good. And then when I say all parties, that means the two people in the conflict and the audience. It's not good for us either to be looking at. I have notes on this, and that's why I'm scrolling down, because otherwise I'm gonna keep going around in circles. And again, this is a bit of a bias or a preconceived notion, but it's very much the furry TikTok and Instagram sphere of furries who just seem to just fucking hate each other, And I'm not saying there's certain furries that I get along with every single furry. Absolutely not. There are some furries that I really, really don't like. And you know what happens? I fight with them on Twitter. No, I'm just kidding. Back in the day, yeah, that would have been. But no, I just block and I move on, You got very popular names who kind of, I guess, who built kind of their brand hating on subsections of the community and hating on subsections of baby furs and pups and the woke left furries. And just and they kind of, and without hating on those sorts of people, it's almost like they don't exist, because their entire brand is built off of hating on people and hating on others. And that's just not good for you. It's not good for the person you're attacking. It's not good for your audience. And I think if that is something that you have built yourself on, you may need to rethink your position. And also, I mean this in the most loving way possible, go and get therapy. Because that's not normal. That's very, very damaging for yourself, and there's a lot of other things here that you need to sort out. And maybe this is reductive to say, but their controversies and dramas are so much more well known than whatever else they do for the fandom, and a good 95% of their content is callouts and punching down, while they also clamoring to be their they're also clamoring to be this new martyr of the community over an opinion they hold. And because they hold a certain opinion, it's this, look how well I'm doing for the community, look how well I'm being. And it's so, I don't want to say the word narcissistic, because I don't like the misuse of the word narcissism, but it's very self-aggrandizing and very unhealthy. And there's just the amount of doxes and call-outs of certain things that are just really just nothing burgers. They are just nothing, or they're just personal beefs that could have been solved with a simple conversation or block. Instead, they are sensationalized for views, which I don't think is healthy for either parties involved and the audience. I genuinely, there's almost this loss of people not knowing how to really, I guess, handle their conflicts anymore. It's immediately just go into the gulag you go, you know, where people are just fucking fighting each other. And, you know, there's like, it's like the fiery pits of hell, you know, and I feel like some of it's got to do with the political climate. And other times it's just, we need to just sit down, drink a cup of water, chill, and to have a simple conversation. And I feel like we just kind of need to just, I guess, bring that back a little bit, you know? Not everything has to be serious and has to be super, like, I guess, screaming balls to the walls type shit, you know? I feel like we just need to sit down and have a nice nuanced conversation. But some of it, and I'm speaking of my own volition here and my own experiences, feel free to call me bullshit or say whatever, like, but I would say from my own experiences, because again, I've been there, I know what it's like to be these types of people, because I was there, I was one of these people back in the day, you know, an annoying little fuck, but I grew up, but, I sound so grumpy, but, I'm being, like, sarcastic by looking down on myself. It's a dysregulated nervous system or an unregulated nervous system. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just, it's like me and my tinfoil hat here being like, you know what, maybe people's nervous systems are just completely dysregulated or unregulated, and that's why people are absolutely crazy about drama and whatever, and why people are drawing these really weird conclusions. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Can you guys tell therapy has been having a lot? Have you guys been, can you guys notice? Have you guys noticed that therapy is completely, like... What am I trying to say here? Hold on. I'm getting tired. I've been awake since 7 o'clock this morning. And it's like 9:30. And I was working most of the day. And now my brain's like, I'm done. I'm clocked out. Anyway, I've yapped on long enough. Anyway, again, feel free to put your opinions in the comment section. Just please don't be a volatile, angry, aggressive person. I'm very sensitive. I will cry. But yeah. But yeah, this was legit just a stupid little rant. I'll probably have a speed paint in the back, because I'm just, it's one of those chill videos, okay? I don't want this to be like a super, like, hence why I did the bullet point thing, and I didn't completely, like, script this out, even though I probably should have. I didn't feel like it would make my point very real and authentic. But yeah, anyway, I've yapped on long enough. I'll see you guys in the next one.